The ministerial screening by the Senate may have ended, but some geopolitical zones are not happy over the caliber of nominees that are paired for the screening from their zone. As criticism continues to trail Tinubu's ministerial list, some Southeast leaders are accusing him of marginalizing the zone due to the statutory 5 slots out of the 48 nominees the zone got, while other zones got extra slots. But the chieftain of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Osita Okechukwu, has absolved President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of any blame in the nomination of only 5 people from the Southeast as members of his cabinet. Joining us now is Osita Okechukwu, an APC chieftain and Director General, Voice of Nigeria. Good morning and welcome to the morning show.
Good morning, Sister Ayo. Good morning, Dr. Ruby. And good morning, Rufai, the incisive provocateur. And good morning, Nigeria.
I like the use of the word Ruby.
The Super Falcons, the best of luck.
Yes, so amen.
I like the word Ruby. Only one person calls me Ruby.
And we know that first.
Some other people call me Ruby. But in any case, let's go straight to it. The president's list. I know your default position is to defend the president. But what do you think of that list? Some people have expressed the view that having 9 governors who have held this position, that position, on a list of 48 ministers is a bit too much. That it looks like there are no other human beings from where those governors come from. That's one major criticism. The second is we don't have enough women on that list. The third is that some states are favored and the East is cleverly just given something to satisfy constitutional provision. And that on the whole, it looks like a cabinet of job for the boys. Campaign people, we have won election, let's compensate you. Rather than a list of ministers that inspires. Who are those superstars really on that list? People have asked. If they count, maybe they can count up to 4 or 5. What's your take?
Thank you very much. Let me start from what Sister Ayo said. I did not absolve President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. My framework of statement or message is that it should not be blamed too much as regards the Southeast. Yes, my people's grief is well captured. I am in league with them with the grief that when President Tinubu started with 20 special assistants and advisors that were scant in that list, no group will be happy about that. And when it came to the ministerial nominees, that we got only 5. And we didn't get even the one spare that is normally given to each geopolitical zone that makes it 6. And to worsen the matter, that unfortunately, we are the only geopolitical zone with 5 states only, which you have agitated all over the years. That is the grief. And I did not absolve President Tinubu totally. What I said is that if there's blame games to be played and laid, that it should be laid exactly where it lies. On the doorsteps, mostly on the so-called APC leaders of the Southeast, the so-called new APC leader who got in the Southeast, who I noticed while the whole negotiation was going on, we are busy trying to knock off our first 11 in the various 5 states. They made sure their reason is that they might pose a danger to their own political career or their kingdom. It ended up, they made the presentation that Tinubu announced. Even in the face of the fact that we were happy when our brother, the governor of Imo State, His Excellency Hope Uzodinma, got the APC Governors Forum chairman, we thought by presiding over such important caucus, in fact, the foremost power block in any political party in Nigeria is the Governors Forum, that as a chairman of the Governors Forum, that he had access and a very intimate access to Mr. President. And throughout that period, I didn't see him in Imo. He had been in Abuja throughout that period. If we had expected him to be negotiating for the good of the geopolitical zone, the Southeast, not for his personal preferences. And the result had shown that his preferences and that of distinguished Senator Umahi were at play. Umahi behaved as if he was the only, or he's the only qualified person in Ebonyi State. The great Ebonyi State will know that is clustered with all professionals, all capable and competent ladies and gentlemen. And he forgot as well that in the Senate, he occupied a very important position in the Senate leadership. We don't know how we could replace that because in the wisdom of the Senate, they might not use anybody from the Southeast to place as a deputy majority leader. So we lost that slot. For him, it was only about himself. I do not know how he thought he's the only person who can be minister on behalf of Ebonyi State. Having grabbed, because I remember the gruesome knockout he did to Mrs. Agomeze, who placed herself to become the senator of that zone. And he knocked her out, knocked his younger brother out, only to arrive at the same Senate. Instead of meeting President Tinubu and saying, President Tinubu, look, we need to improve on the Southeast in the next election. And if we had to do so, that my people say that the rain in the morning will determine how the weather of the day will go. That please, Mr. President, leave me, I'm okay with my Senate. But we are saying, now that you have gone 48, or you are planning to go more than 42 or 36, please, equity, justice and natural justice, remembers, should accord us such portfolios. So I thought between Senator Umahi and Governor Hope Uzodinma as leaders of the Southeast, that they could have been more patriotic, more collective in their reasoning, instead of being petty in their negotiation. I remember vividly how they mangled the structure we built over the years in the APC. We didn't hear anything again about Oboni Onudem, Chris Ngige and others, Moyalo, others, and in Enugu, Yemuche Namani and others. But we take that to be what it is, distinguished Senator Ken Namani. But let us keep that one behind. But we said, if you are going for a contest, you should go with your first 11. Our people said that why the cock is crowing is for impunity to vanish. If impunity cannot vanish, let the world hear his voice. On the general appurtenance of the ministerial list, we must give President Tinubu the benefit of doubt, because under Section 5 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, he had the exclusive prerogative, because he's the only person, the executive powers of the federal government of Nigeria is vested, who should delegate it to his vice president, to whoever he cares in Nigeria. If he had done so, what we should start saying is that we should start counting time.
All right.
And measuring the performance of the former 9 governors, the ladies and gentlemen at play.
Okay.
We cannot condemn. Some might do well than we expected. And I could see, as you said, dotted young professionals like Bosodem and others. Let's see where they are placed.
All right,
if they are
Mr.
placed, we'll give them time to reckon.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, Mr. Okechukwu, thank you very much. Now, I guess I hear you talk about the blame should be put on the doorstep of the APC Southeast leaders like Senator Hope Uzodinma and Senator Dave Umahi in terms of what some people have considered an underrepresentation of the Southeast in the president's appointment. But would you not say that as president, the president does not need to have lobbying to be fair in the allocation or in the distribution of positions or appointments to geopolitical zones? Should he not be fair even beyond the lobbying of Southeast chieftains of the APC? That's one question, because some people have said, well, he's president of all, and when he took office, he ought to be at least fair and balanced before the buck stops with him, not with the senators from the Southeast. That's one. The second is with regards to the quality of appointments, as you mentioned. Yes, there's some bright spots, like you said, Dr. Bosot Tijani, but some people have also said within the APC, there are people who are not happy with the appointments or the nominations because they feel that they have worked hard for the APC. In fact, there are open letters here and there, some to the new APC chair, some to the president himself, as to how aggrieved they feel. An example would be the progressive youths, who have said they have quality people amongst them who have not yet been recognized for the work that they've given.
Thank you. Let me start with our number one question. I'm not a President Tinubu's apologist. And I have severally, in this channel and other channels, said that I'm not talking about the juicy appointments, neither for myself, that I'm interested that infrastructure is the only thing that can transform the country. I'm not his apologist. I was one of the few, if not the only one from the Southeast, that wrote publicly a statement in 2001, December, that President Tinubu should not run, that is the turn of the Southeast, that he should use his clout and his heavy war chest to nominate any person of his choice from the Southeast. And the next day, his camp replied me and said that the kingmaker wants to be king. So now he's the king. My business basically is to reduce hatred, because hatred had not taken the country anywhere. And what are the ingredients that fuel hatred in the country? The ingredient that fuel hatred in the country is lies. If I leave my people, it happened during the Buhari regime. I keep on reminding my people where the missing point is. If I leave my people to think that it's only Tinubu that marginalized them, that will not help in building harmony in a poorer society like ours. You have to also tell them that their brothers did not have the equity mindset, the vision, the mission to present their first 11. If I'm the chairman of APC Governors Forum and I meet Mr. President, I present my first 11. And he says we can only have only 5. I can voluntarily tell Mr. President, thank you, Mr. President. There's no need for me to be chairman of APC Forum. Because what do I go home with? They didn't do so. Rather, even those names that President Tinubu had in mind, they knocked most of them off. What are they saying? That they might constitute a problem in the zone. But that is the behind the scene. I wish we start learning. The day you promote an open card, both for the Nigerian state and for your geopolitical zone, the better for us. We need to reduce the lies that makes hatred to flourish in our communities. That's my evangelical message. I'm not talking about myself. I'm saying that we should learn. Don't forget, these were prominent PDP members who were against even President Tinubu and Buhari when they were packaging this set. But today, they have returned as big boys. If we return as big boys, we thank God for that. We want our people to shine, just like it's happening in Australia today. We're happy. Nobody talks about which tribe is playing. All we are saying is let Nigeria win. We're talking on the Nigerian project. If you are going there, please take time, whether somebody is your friend or not, if it's better to be presented, push them forward. Lobby along that line. Don't chase rats while others are chasing elephants. That is what I'm saying. On the other segment of your question, I'm saying that the good capital of democracy is that if we give a president benefit of that, if he fails us, the next turn of elections is there waiting for us. Okay. Before you know it, 4 years is completed.
Okay.
That is what I'm arguing. I'm not saying that if you go through the sieve, you cannot find people who should be dropped and people who should be presented.
Okay. Okay.
If I don't think President Tinubu will run the Buhari style. I don't think he will run a minister for 8 years or 4 years. I think he will do changes along the line because he will notice himself those who are performing and those who are not performing.
Okay. So a lot of people will say you're not being fair to those APC governors in the Southeast. And some of the argument will be, please just call a spade a spade. President Tinubu made a very below par job as regards the ministerial screening, and there were too many mistakes. And I'll give you 2 instances. Number one is the case of Kanu and the woman that was replaced, Mariam Shetty, which nobody nominated. It was deep in the president's cabinet that they brought Mariam Shetty forward. It was after Governor Ganduje emerged APC chair that they said, oh, nobody was aware. And they checked her record without making verification before, and they said, oh, she could not serve. Then they now finally, as a last resort, called Governor Ganduje to bring forward somebody, and they brought her Bankure, and she was nominated. Another case is something that is causing a lot of chaos in Delta as we speak. In the whole of Delta State, the 2 ministerial nominees are Orobo, Stella Okoteti and Festus Kiamu, from the same senatorial zone. And it's causing a lot of ripple. People feel disgruntled in Delta as they speak. This is another part of the mistake that was made. So is it not fair to blame the Southeast leader? When you check, they probably had little or no impute because it was the president that went all alone as regards the ministerial list.
My own good friend Rufai, I cannot publicly state all that went behind the screen. But let me be honest with you. If you check your own timeline and your little observation, all these people were here in Abuja throughout those sessions. Some abandoned their states. It was meeting after meeting after meeting. But what I'm saying, no matter how hard-hearted or hard-hearted you think Tinubu is, otherwise, I'm not defending him. When he came to Enugu, he told the people in Enugu that he'll give us some slices of bread. So I'm not trying to defend him. But what I'm saying is that the leadership of the group is in a position to demonstrate clout. To tell Mr. President, we're all in the same political party. We're all looking forward. For me, even Governor Uzodinma, I have an election soon coming. How do you want my people to judge me? Please, Mr. President. I'm not saying they will force him. I'm not saying, if you say he listened to, what counters your statement? The paradox of your statement, for instance, is that you said when Ganduje said he doesn't want Miriam Shetty, they changed her. That's the same thing I'm saying in the Southeast. That if these people had nudged, my people said, you must know where the rain started before you know where it will stop. I'm saying that pettiness cost us where we are. I'm not saying that Mr. President doesn't have all the right to insist, but you gave an example when he was nudged from certain political power blocks in Kano. She listened to them. I do not think that if we had done so, that Mr. President would be so hardened, whatever the hatred is. But I'm saying the hatred should be watered down. That is not as deep as it is. That we should look in-house and help to, when he went out of your way, because that was where we blame the former chairman of the APC, distinguished Senator Abdullahi Adamu. He headed the reconciliation committee of the party, had all the facts in his hand. He didn't reconcile it. The outcome is that the Southeast produced the poorest presidential election result in 2003. Poorest out of all the 6 geopolitical zones. That outcome. One. Secondly, your strategy of negotiation and lobbying. I'm querying the strategy. I don't have anything against them.
Well,
they're my own personal
on that note,
brothers and friends.
On that note, Mr. Osita Okechukwu, we want to thank you very much for joining us on The Morning Show.